Go, Ben. Hello, good evening. My name is Soham, and welcome to a very special edition of the Ideas webinar series. So, before we start on with the program, I would like to give a quick introduction for those who are joining our program for the very first time. I would like to give a quick introduction of our company, which is initiative, which is Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group. So, the Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group, or IUSM, as is generally called, is a leading India-based ISO certified sports management company, which works and contributes immensely to the development of sports within the country. Its goal is to provide personalized 360-degree services to top Indian sports professionals, teams, leagues, clubs, and as well as all corporations involved. The company has recently ventured into a lot of sports education programs as well. We are training the grassroots coaches, training, and we are doing a lot of programs on on psychology, on coaching, C licenses, D licenses. So we are working extensively on that as well. And without further ado, as you all can see, Ranjit sir and Heena ma'am is already there with us. So welcome, sir. Welcome, ma'am. It's really a pleasure to have you both on our program. Ranjit sir has been a very active support of our ideas. He has been to our program before as well, ma'am. It's your first time here, so I really want to thank you for being for doing this and for being a part of this. And so we are also going to announce a really special announcement is there in terms of that will be done shortly in a while. We'll be launching something really huge and really new for the Indian football industry, and you both are a really big part of it. So we'll announce it shortly. We'll keep the suspense building. We'll keep the audience coming in, and we'll be definitely doing that as well. So, sir, I would, with your permission, I would like to start the session. Are we
Yeah,
good to go?
please. It's lovely to be here, and thank you so much for having us. I'm always been from the very beginning, from a long time ago. I've been a part of Ideas Unlimited Sports Management, and yes, as you see, you say that I've been here before, and yes, it's Hena's first time. So,
Yes.
Hena, welcome.
Yes. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having me, guys. Thank you. It's good to
Thank
be
you.
here.
So, sir, the world knows about your story. We have been gone all through, but I would like to start with ma'am, because ma'am, you have been an integral part of the Indian footballing ecosystem. Not many people know. You had a very successful corporate career. Not many people know that as well. But you left that and then you ventured into the Indian footballing ecosystem. So, how has your journey been? Your foray into this Indian football?
Well, first of all, it was a very unplanned foray into Indian football. It was never really decided that I would uh, I would kind of be dedicating so much of my time to it.
All,
Initially, yeah,
all.
all my time to it really. Initially, when we started out, and Ranjit decided to set up Minerva Academy, I was just helping out with the day-to-day back-end running of the club, and we never knew that it would snowball into such a big project and a big organization. And today, I'm still here and still doing my bit for the club, as well as learning a lot along the way. So it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah. Generally speaking, it's been lovely. It's been great. And sir, I was reading in one of your interviews earlier that you took an interest to ma'am because she was the only girl who used to speak about football. And there was this story. There is a story about a PCO also, where
Yeah,
she used to
true.
speak about
So,
football.
That
So
so
what
story
is
makes
that?
us sound really old because
okay.
they are PCOs are not there any
PCO
longer.
STD times, okay, so it makes us sound from another generation, but
Yeah.
that's very true. It
Yeah.
was
So what is this entire story? Can you
the
share with
entire
us?
entire thing was that normally, we, especially in India, and especially I'm talking about what, 12 years ago, when the Premier League had not even taken on a full steam here, and you hardly had people talking about the Premier. I'm talking about boys talking about the Premier League. So outside my school and her ex, both of our ex schools, there's a STD or a PCO where mobiles were not there, and whenever this, even when they started, they were supposed to be very expensive, and not everybody had a mobile. So everyone used to go there and make calls. And then this guy said this girl comes there and she talks to boys and girls, but only about football, and she knows a lot, and she's talking about Manu and Arsenal and the next match and everything happening, and and she's talking about technical terms like the nutmeg. And I was, the moment I heard that, I said, oh my god, this is the girl I have to see. And then when I saw her, and I said, oh my god, she's pretty hot as well. So let me so let me go try my luck. And as to have it, my luck worked, and she liked me, and the rest is history. But
Yeah.
it all started from a STD phone call where she was talking about football, and that's if that had not been told to me by that guy, I would have never even gone out and tried to look for her.
That,
So yeah, football's been a part of our story ever since the beginning, actually.
yeah. So, like, sir, with all due respect, sir, ma'am, sir is kind of a volatile, energetic kind of a person. So, are you the calming presence to his life, like bringing a sea of calm to his personality and keep him in like
A lot of
control?
people think so, but
See, she
honestly,
that for me
we have a good balance,
being
I think.
honest, I mean, she does that. She brings that into me. She can really keep me calm when things are tough and when I am losing it. But it's not that she's a very calm person herself. Okay, so she requires somebody like me to keep her calm.
Yeah.
It's not at all the opposites attract here. It's kind of like, for example, like you said, football. It's kind of best friends or soulmates, man. So because it's the things we like are much more than the things we don't like. So it's been
So
great.
it's not exactly like we're completely opposite personalities. Even I have, from time to time, I have the same kind of zeal and passion in me. And, it's just that we balance each other out well, like if he's hyper, then I bring him down. And if I'm hyper, he'll bring me down. So that's good for us.
But what people don't know about uh, us is that I've been on the front line. That means on the side of the field, and people know me very well because of that. But on the backside, that means the person who's handling most of the work. See, the football is the fun part, I would say, in actual football.
Yeah.
If somebody had told me that other than you don't do football for 99, if you're running a football club or academy, time spending actually enjoying football is only 1%, and the 99% is all hard work, I would have been shocked. So, but that's what it is. And I probably excel at that 1% of enjoying myself. Well, the 99% of the work to get me there is all done by this great lady.
He's being too
No, see,
modest.
the point is about I would have not done jack shit if I had tried to register a club on my own. People know about accreditation, so she's a master there. And then things like getting Apollo on board right in the beginning, and being an I League club to get a sponsor like that for 5 years. That was a huge deal. Then making sure from the very first day we had people like Clear Trip or people like other people like Gatorade supporting us. So even the business sense she brought in, and the way we were able to see, what I feel proud is not that I am as good as Man City or Man U, but for how good I am now compared to what I was 5 years ago. So you should always compare not with the best in the world. Even if you want to be the best in the world, you should always make sure you're better than what you were yesterday. So if you see a continuous improvement in yourself, in your club, in your professional life, I think it's as good as being world champion, because you will get there one day. But as if you go straight away competing to be trying to be like Man City, you'll never be there, because that's not who you are. You've got to have your own journey. Man City had a journey over 100 years. Every club, you can't be East Bengal because they had their own journey. So you have to have your own journey.
So I
Uh,
feel like there's so much that goes into building a football club. It's not just about having a few players together and having a good coaching staff and giving a good team performance. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. Just to play that 90-minute match. There's hours and hours of hard work that goes into getting the venues ready, getting the getting all the systems in place. Just dealing with the whole match day operations, all the back end registrations, your accreditation, your licensing, your contracts. There's so much that goes into it. So I feel like it's really important for everyone to build a good foundation for their club, to have a good structure for their organization in place, because with every passing year, as you go on, you keep improving that, and then you finally get to a stage where you can look at your club and say that yes, it's looking like something which can be sustainable for us in the long run.
yeah, as you guys said about this, all this accreditation process and the process that goes in, like behind the scenes of a football field and a football game. So like Indian football, which is not quite known for its professional approach, that approach is changing. Now a lot of clubs are being very, very professional. And Minerva in a way started the trend and did things really well. So what are your thoughts, like if we consider the next decade, that is 2020 as starting? So what is the road ahead in terms of professionalism is concerned in Indian football? And
Well,
ma'am, you can go next.
yeah, well, I would say that we are on the journey. We are there. It's not that it's not changing. And I would say that 10 years ago, looking at things that they had not changed for probably 30 years in Indian football and they were the same, but things are changing. And things are not just changing because of the corporatization of the entire game, or you get commercial rights coming in, or ISL coming in. It's changing because people know that if you want to compete with the world's best, doesn't matter I League, second division, even the grassroots, you have to follow the best world practices. That doesn't mean that having a world class facility. It means having the world class attitude and world class the rules and regulations and the discipline required to work towards that. So now, for example, that is the reason I started AFCI, the Association of Football Clubs and Academies in India. The reason we started that was because the I know what I had to go through when I was a club and academy in the beginning. Yes, I had a fantastic journey because I was lucky and I was able to win and I was able to get into the top division within 2 years and then even win that. Yes, but that was in spite and despite of the problems I faced. Any other club could have been like probably 99 out of 100 clubs wouldn't have done what I did. Why? Because it's not only because I was able to do it, it's also a lot of luck was in my favor. So things went my way, but I learned along the way. And I don't want clubs and academies just to close down because they don't actually have support. And support for what? Support for, like she said, 90 minutes of football, any football person can take care of because that's what a coach is for. It's to get to those 90 minutes, what you have to do is 900 probably hours of hard work. And those 900 hours of hard work, if you don't know how to do it, can probably cost you the entire bank balance. Or if you know how to do it, probably can be very, very cheap and you just didn't know that this was available. For example, social media. For example, you need a graphic designer. In AFCI, we've got graphic designers, volunteers, who, if you want a logo made, if you want a web page made, if you want a poster made, we make it for you free. So suppose in AFCI you are just making a ground and you got a piece of land, but you want to make it world class, best grass ever. So we tell you how to make sure you get the best grass ever for free and make that world class grass for free instead of 20 lakhs for which actually costs recarpeting it. So using our expertise, which we have got after spending crores and hours, free of cost. The whole point of AFCAI is bringing the topmost expertise to the bottommost level.
Yeah, sure. Ma'am, if you can add something to it.
I'd just like to say that, as we all know, there has been a lot of improvement in Indian football over the past decade or so, and we can all see that. They've been improving their policies, and a lot of professionalism has come in, which was lacking earlier. But at the same time, while we are working towards this high standard of professionalism, we cannot forget about the true grassroots of the sport and where the sport stems from. It's very, very important for us to focus on that and build a kind of fan culture at the grassroots and support the smaller clubs and academies. And only then can we build a foundation which is strong enough that whatever money we put into the system, whatever corporatization we try to bring in, only then it's going to be sustainable in a long run. So you can't prioritize one thing over the other. You have to give equal weightage to the grassroots and to the work that's being done on this end, to the sport itself, to
See,
the
I'll
development of
explain.
the
I'll
sport.
explain it better. One second. So, see what I understand exactly what she's saying. In the footballing sense, let me make it very clear. What about if suppose you are England and you are the Premier League, and people around the world watch it because it brings the best football in your living room, and that's why the TV rights are worth 6, 7, 8 billion dollars or euros or whatever. So when will the actual money come in? When people want to watch the Indian League. And the Indian League will be watchable when you take the Indian football standard higher. That means the real money will come in when India becomes a world power in football. I'm talking about the real money.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to see. We are. Why is cricket making real money? because we are world powers in cricket. Same with hockey is doing really well because we are world powers in hockey. And the
Absolutely.
same, by the way, same in kabaddi. They are doing really well because we are number one in the world. The moment you are competing, we Indians don't like to be third class in anything. And if we are, we are never going to be start supporting that system and putting money into it. But that's where the thing is, unless you support the grassroots, we're never going to get to that world class level. So that's why, like, I totally agree with her. Grassroots is where you need to spend money if you want to actually make money off football in 10 years.
Yeah. Absolutely, sir. Very well put. Like you said about the clubs, I would like to like give the specific example of East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. Do you think since East Bengal and Mohun Bagan is shifting to ISL, the I League will see a sort of a collapse since it's a
I'm
concern with many people?
It's a very difficult
I'm
question.
really worried, man. I'm really worried for the I League. For example, I'll tell you. I'm talking about personal example. Last year there was going to be no broadcast because Star Sports had walked out, and AFF gave up and they said we can't do it. So I said, don't worry, I can find you a broadcaster in 2 minutes. I went to three different companies, Sony and D Sports and one more Doordarshan, and all three said immediately within a minute we'll broadcast you. Why? Because they're not looking at Minerva, they were looking at East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. They knew that they'll get their money back just because of these two teams. Every time this team plays any other team, we will get their money back. So sponsors which are coming to me were coming to me because, for example, people come to Leicester City or to Southampton or to the small clubs because they have Man City and Chelsea playing in the same league. So they can't afford to sponsor Chelsea, but they can afford to sponsor Aston Villa. But they'll be playing on the same screen. For example, you've seen so many Indian companies going and sponsoring West Indies or other Afghanistan
Yeah.
because they'll be playing with India on the same screen and scaling the same screen size. So the whole point is that making sure. See, that's the example with the cricket example. You can come to know why Indians go and sponsor Afghanistan because they share screen size. So
Yeah.
Mohun Bagan East Bengal not being there, no sponsors, no broadcast, the no attention being probably paid to it. अब तो बिल्कुल कोई चांस ही नहीं है कोई इंडियन प्लेयर फ्रॉम देयर मेकिंग इट टू द नेशनल टीम बिकॉज अर्लियर मोहन बगान ईस्ट बंगाल मे बी लाइक जॉबी जस्टिन स्टिल बीइंग इन ईस्ट बंगाल नॉट ट्रांसफर टू एटीके still made it to the national team. Chances are happening from the I
Only
League.
after he
Yes.
signed it.
Then you already heard they're already saying I League is 9 matches. That means that 10 teams, only single leg matches. And the biosecure bubble goes the same way, but there's no money left for AF to spend on I League. And a private company, which is a rival right now, will not spend money on the I League because they've got what they wanted from the I League, which is East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. So I see a very, very tight and sad future for it. And I see the I League becoming probably the same I League as we remember in 2024-25 if they follow relegation and promotion. So then you'll have probably two I League teams going up and then two ISL teams coming down. Again, the second division, that means the I League will become strong again. They'll become strong because you've got two ISL clubs coming in. So you have to have big clubs. You can't only have a league of small clubs. Like you can't have a league of only big clubs. That's what's happening. They put all the big clubs together and all the small clubs together. That's not going to work.
Yeah. You need to keep a fine balance both sides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, they call it the beautiful game, not because East Bengal beats Mohun Bagan, because that can happen on any day,
Yeah.
and vice versa. They call it a beautiful game because a team like Iceball and Minerva can go and win the title.
Yeah.
The same time when Mohun Bagan and East Bengal were still there, because Leicester City Dream can happen, Greece can happen, or FC Porto can happen.
Yeah, so wonderful, sir. So, speaking further on this topic, like this is with East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, there's a trend of supporter-based clubs being turning to corporate investments for these investments. And do you see it to be become a trend like more supporter-based clubs turning to corporates and
There are
for
none left by. These were the two main supporter-based clubs. Now we have Mohammedan Sporting, and trust me, if they get into the ISL, even they'll be made into the same way. See, in Germany, you have a rule 50 plus 1 rule, where
yeah,
supporters are the ones who own the clubs, except one or two. Same way in Real Madrid, Barcelona, they're all fan-owned clubs. The biggest clubs should always be fan-owned clubs, and they will last for 200 years. I'm not kidding. Tomorrow, if things don't go right for Manu and the Glazer family has a misfortune somewhere in their other business, they will actually sell that club to somebody else. And that guy might not spend money on the transfers and Manu might be in the third division. So unless it's a sports supporters club, fan-owned club, that's got nothing to do with business. See, the moment you put football and business together, there has to be a very, very fine line, but it has to be dividing it into very, very separate parts. That means you cannot look at profits while trying to make decisions where a supporter-based club is concerned.